Ever since I was a young kid, writing was my outlet. I discovered early on that I could create entirely different worlds through the use of my words, a pencil, and a piece of paper. I would envision myself as a young kid hiking up mountains to peer at the colorful landscapes. I would turn and nod at my superhuman best friends before we hopped on our two-headed dragon and flew away to another country, to another world, to an island. It was always someplace different, and I would always much rather be there, stuck in my head, stuck in my imagination. It didn't matter what was going on around me, so long as I had my pen and paper. Somewhere along my journey, though, I got lost. I was 14 years old when I entered high school. High school for me was new and scary. I constantly moved around as a kid, so there were no familiar faces welcoming me back. I just felt like I was swimming in a crowd of strangers. Everything would be okay though, right? I still had my pen and paper. I still had my imagination. A couple of months after starting school, my parents got divorced. Before I could still feel everyone and everything moving around me, I could still feel the sparks of my imagination. Now it felt as though time had stopped itself. All the color had been drained from my imaginary escape. I had to watch my mom completely crumble. Now I had to watch her build herself back up. I watched my dad cry as the life he had built for himself was completely demolished. Suddenly, I no longer had my pen and paper by my side. I felt like I had no one by my side. I felt quite lost after this. Not just lost, I felt numb. I tried to make new friends at school, but to be honest, I didn't really care. I stopped doing schoolwork. I stopped going to school. My own creativity and imagination had been washed away. This feeling followed me into early adulthood. I felt like being on autopilot had become my new baseline. I eventually found myself at the age of 19 at what felt like a dead-end job. I worked 8 to 10-hour days. It was a 2-hour commute there and back. It was one of those jobs where I felt like I just stared at the wall from clock in to clock out. The color hadn't only seeped out from my imagination, but from my reality too. Surely there must be more to life than this. I didn't know it then, but these were the subtle thoughts that would eventually lead me back to my pen and paper. I wish I could have just gone back to writing about kingdoms and mythological beings and friends, but I just couldn't. I felt like I lost it. I lost my creativity, and it felt like I could never go back. But yet a part of me wasn't willing to give up. Not so easy. Every day, after work for months, I just opened up my journal and tried to write. In the beginning, I wrote a lot of nonsensical phrases in an attempt to recreate the worlds I once lived in as a child. Other times I tried to doodle. I did what I could to strike up any ounce of inspiration or creativity. But nothing ever felt like it was working. Not like it used to. Eventually, I just began writing about my day. I kept the journal like a diary. I felt a little bit better. I did this for a long time, and it really helped me understand my thoughts. It became clear that my mind had a way of jumbling everything together, but writing made sense. Writing untangled all the overwhelming emotions that I had been stuck processing. So I stuck with this kind of writing. It wasn't colorful or fantastical, but it made me feel better. I wasn't writing about pure imagination anymore, but I wasn't running away anymore either. I was writing about the real world, and writing helped me confront it.